3 wide receivers who could be targeted by the Las Vegas Raiders in free agency. First of all, welcome to this latest update. Before continuing, please leave a like to support this video. It doesn't cost anything and will help us a lot. Take advantage and subscribe to the channel so you can receive all the Raiders updates firsthand. Now stay until the end so you understand everything. Let's go. NFL free agency is about to begin on March 12th, and the Las Vegas Raiders come into this moment with enormous financial flexibility to strengthen the roster. After a disappointing 4-13 campaign, the team needs significant improvements, and the good news is that there is plenty of money to invest. With at least $92.5 million available under the salary cap, the second highest among all teams in the league, the Raiders are in a position to add key pieces to fill holes in the roster. The quarterback position remains one of the main doubts for next season, but it is not the team's only need. In addition to QB, the team should look closely at other areas that need reinforcements, such as running back, offensive line, cornerback and, of course, wide receiver. The team will also need to make important decisions regarding its own free agents. Names such as linebacker Robert Spillane, safety Trayvon Moehrig and defensive tackle Adam Butler could end up being retained for next season. However, when it comes to strengthening the offense, the Raiders will have interesting options in the wide receiver market. Here are 3 names that could be on the team's radar to strengthen the receiving group. T. Higgins, Cincinnati Bengals. If the Cincinnati Bengals opt to not use the franchise tag on T. Higgins, the Raiders are expected to be one of the teams most interested in signing him. The 6'4" receiver, who is entering his 5th season in the league, stands tall and has emerged as a reliable, dependable target, something that could be essential for any quarterback who takes over the Las Vegas offense. The Raiders last season exposed a major need at the position. Neither quarterback on the team was able to establish themselves as a long-term solution. Aiden O'Connell finished with 1,612 passing yards and 8 touchdown passes, while Gardner Minshew had 2,013 yards and 9 touchdowns. Neither was able to elevate the offense to a competitive level. Higgins had a productive 2024 season, racking up 911 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns, despite dealing with some ups and downs in the Bengals offense. At just 26 years old, he still has a lot to offer and would form an interesting partnership with Jacoby Myers in the receiving corps. Plus, since the Raiders traded Davante Adams to the New York Jets mid-season, the team has been missing a true WR1. Higgins could fill that void right away. Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Another name that could spark great interest for the Raiders is Chris Godwin, from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There is an important connection between the player and the Las Vegas team. John Spytek, the current GM of the Raiders, worked in the Bucs front office from 2016 to 2024 and is very familiar with Godwin's potential. This could be a decisive factor in trying to bring him to the roster. The 2024 season was marked by challenges for Godwin. An ankle injury, suffered in Week 7, hampered his performance, but he still managed to accumulate 576 yards and 5 touchdowns. Considering his production history, if he had been healthy throughout the season, he would probably have surpassed 1,000 receiving yards and scored at least 10 touchdowns. The arrival of Chip Kelly as the Raiders' new offensive coordinator could be a positive factor for Godwin. In a dynamic and more aggressive offensive scheme, the receiver could play a central role and return to performing at a high level. At 29 years old, he still has the fuel to be one of the team's main targets. Darius Slayton, New York Giants. Darius Slayton is a name that could emerge as an interesting option for the Raiders, especially if the team doesn't invest in an elite receiver. His last season wasn't the best, but that's largely due to the instability at the New York Giants quarterback position. Since entering the league, Slayton has shown that he can be productive when he has a functional offense around him. In 4 of his first 5 seasons, he's surpassed 700 receiving yards. However, in 2024, he was limited to 573 yards and 2 touchdowns in 16 games, a reflection of the Giants' inconsistent offense. One of the main factors that could influence Slayton's decision is whether the Raiders choose their quarterback in free agency or the draft. During his time with the Giants, he played with Daniel Jones, Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito, a group that definitely didn't scare opposing defenses. If the Raiders can land a solid QB to lead the offense, Slayton could be a valuable addition. The Raiders have the money and options to add to their roster in free agency, and the wide receiver position will be a priority. T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, and Darius Slayton all bring different traits, but any of them could make significant contributions to the team's offense. Now, it all depends on the front office's decisions and what strategy they take to rebuild the team in 2024. Reunion in sight? Raiders could seek return of Khalil Mack in free agency. Last month, ESPN reported that veteran Los Angeles Chargers pass rusher Khalil Mack has made the decision to continue playing in the NFL in 2025, extending his career to a 12th season. The defender, who had been undecided about his future, now has a clear path, and that could spark interest from some teams looking to bolster their defensive line. Given this confirmation, an interesting question arises. Could Mack return to the team where it all began? As he approaches his 34th birthday, he will become a free agent for the first time in his career in the league, which opens up unprecedented possibilities for his career. And among the options, the Las Vegas Raiders appear to be an intriguing alternative. Selected by the then Oakland Raiders with the 5th overall pick in the 2014 draft, Mack quickly established himself as a dominant piece on defense. In 2016, his performance led to him being crowned Defensive Player of the Year, solidifying his reputation as one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. However, his story with the franchise took an unexpected turn in 2018. With the arrival of coach John Gruden, a contract dispute led Mack to miss the off-season program and training camp. The impasse resulted in a shocking trade to the Chicago Bears, just a week before the start of the season. Today, the scenario is very different. Gruden has been gone for years, and the franchise is under new management. Given this, a return of Mack to the silver and black would not be so unlikely. The player, who on several occasions was a real nightmare for the Raiders when facing them as an opponent, could now strengthen the team that revealed him to the league. On the other hand, there are signs that Mack is happy in Los Angeles. However, the possibility of exploring the market for the first time could be tempting. If he decides to test his options in free agency, what do you think? Would he be a good addition to the Raiders, or will his fate be elsewhere? Comment now and leave your opinion below. See you soon.